Welcome to Productive Joy with Dr. Christie, where fun meets action.
Hi, friends. Welcome to Productive Joy. I have a new friend to introduce you to. His name is Jason Greenhaw, and he happens to be lots of things. He's a trainer. He's a fitness guru. He's an author. He's a mindset maker-over. He's a catalyst. He's a dog dad to Humphrey. He is also a dad to a 19-year-old named Grayson and a 22-year-old named Gwen. He happens to also be an excellent bowler, like the kind that has his own ball and his own like shirts and shoes and all the things. And although he was embarrassed to say it, he has bowled a 289 and a 300's a perfect score. And today he's our guest on Productive Joy. Welcome, Jason.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. And thanks for spilling the beans about me being a expert bowler.
You did make a cringy face. You made a cringy face. You said girls don't date boys who bowl. Actually, I think maybe your son said that.
Yes. Yeah.
But
He was pretty adamant about not bowling too. So you could get some chicks. Yes.
that's okay, though. It's okay. You know what? You have to embrace all the things. These are talents. And, you know, it's a pretty good party trick to be able to bowl almost a perfect score.
Yes, I agree. Especially if people don't know it and you go bowling and they're like, oh, we'll take him. And you end up bowling really good. And then other people are pissed that you didn't tell them. Yeah, it's a good time.
You know what? That is just that. Those are the kinds of things that you just like. I'm actually pretty good at ping pong. And that's one. I mean, I'm not like next level ping pong, but I can hold my own. And so that's kind of a fun moment to say, oh, sure, I'll play you.
Yeah, hustle them a little bit, right?
A little bit. Oh, that's fun. Well, and actually I learned on a miniature ping pong table because that's what we had in our basement. And so when I went to a big table, I was really good because I was used to having to stay on that little table. So these are fun facts. And I am sure our listeners are super excited about our random fun facts, but they probably want to know a little bit more about you. So besides being this excellent bowler, tell us a little bit about you, Jason. What are some things that might excite our Productive Joy audience?
Yeah, so I've actually been in the fitness industry full time for about 25 years. So that's kind of all I've done besides, working at Kroger and Olive Garden and stuff like that. So full-time fitness, I've been a trainer all 25 years, but I've owned a gym for the last 20 years. So motivating and inspiring people, that's like what I love to do. So I spend all day doing that pretty much. And even on my downtime, working out is that's the most fun I can have. And people think that's ridiculous, but I really do love it. But the aspect I love most about it is working out next to somebody and getting to encourage them and motivate them and stuff like that. So anyway, that's probably what I love to do the most. I know my kids probably get tired of it very often because I'm always trying to get them to be the best they can be. But anyway, yeah, so that's pretty much my life is fitness. And
so what got you into it? So you said 25 years, that's a big bulk of time, but what started your love of fitness? I mean, because you started bowling at 12. So
bowling doesn't take a lot of fitness, honestly. But anyway, yeah, so I always loved working out in high school even. And so I graduated high school when I was 18. I went off to Sam Houston State, which is in local, not too far from where I live.
Wait a minute, I have to give a shout out to Barb Copeland because she graduated from Sam Houston and she knows Sally Wagner, who also shout out is how we got connected.
Yeah.
So there you go, bro.
I like you already. So I went there and I actually ended up getting engaged and I dropped out of school to become a prison guard. So if you're familiar with Phil, not my calling at all. I was the worst prison guard probably known to man, but I didn't last very long either. So, but when you're going to Huntsville in Texas is known for prisons. They have like 9 and it's not a huge town. So when you go to Sam Houston, usually you end up being a prison guard because it's supposedly not hard, but it is terribly hard. So anyway, so I decided I would get married and be a prison guard. I quickly decided prison guard was not my calling in life. So I was working out at a gym. It was called Bally Total Fitness. At the time, there were tons of them. Now I don't think there's any.
I know Bally's, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I was just working out there and there was a sign on the wall that said now hiring personal trainers. And I thought, you know what, that may be more up my alley than a prison guard. So yeah, I went in, I talked to the guy, found out what certifications and all that stuff you need, but I was already going to college for exercise science. So it kind of was along the same lines. Yeah. And I started and I worked for Bally's for 5 years and then opened my own place in 2005. And that's pretty much where I've been the whole time.
That's awesome. So, okay, so you opened your own gym. What kind of gym? Because there's lots of different, nuances to gymming, if you will.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. So ours is a private personal training studio. So it's a little different. It's customized per person. So it's not like a CrossFit gym, or it's not like a big gym where everybody can come in on their own. So basically you have to have one of our trainers to come there. It's small, it's private. So there's not more and never more than like 8 people in the whole place. But it's really just depending on what the person is looking to do. Most of our people that come to us are a little older and, looking for just either overall fitness or weight loss and stuff like that. Like we don't get the bodybuilders and the world strongman competitors and all that stuff. But anyway, yeah. So that's kind of where we are. And I have a few great trainers that have worked with me for a long time. One guy's worked with me for like 20 years. And I mean,
Oh, wow. That
yeah.
that says a lot about you, because if you can keep somebody working for you for that long, then you must be doing something right. So well done.
Well, I hope so.
But okay, so you've been a trainer your whole life. You fell into it, but we're exactly where you belonged, and now you have transformed thousands of people, I'm sure, over those years and made them better, which is impressive. Well done. And yet you decided that you needed to write a book and you needed to get that into the hands of people. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that journey?
Yeah, for sure. So about 10 years ago, I started writing what I called a Monday motivational. It was just a post on Facebook, and it was always about something, whether I saw on a movie or maybe I heard a quote or my kid told me something. And so I'm a real advocate of kind of learning something or hearing something and then applying it to my life. Like even to a fault, like I'll see a color paint and I'm like, oh, how can that change my life? So anyway, it's probably still fault a little bit, but so every Monday I would put these things out about just stuff I learned or whatever. And so about 2 years ago, actually, I was listening to a motivational speaker named Les Brown. So he's a little older motivational speaker, but anyway, he said a few quotes about, like 75% of Americans are unsatisfied with their jobs. And he talks about how many of them are miserable going to work. And for me, that just made me think like, we all have to go to work on Mondays, but most 75% of us really don't like it. And we're unhappy. We got anxiety and we got stress and we got all these emotions that go along with having to go to work that usually end up starting about Sunday afternoon, because then you start dreading, oh God, I got to go to work. I have to see this person. I have to go to this job that doesn't satisfy me. It doesn't make me happy. It doesn't challenge me, all that stuff. So I wrote all those things, all those motivational Mondays. And then after I heard that from Les Brown, I thought, man, if we could change the way people think about Mondays, because here's the deal, Mondays coming every week, right? There's no way. Yeah, every week. There's no way we're going to change it. So that was kind of my whole thought process in writing the book. And so I talked to a few friends who were also authors and just kind of got the idea of how to go about it and publishing and all that good stuff. And then what I did is I just picked 52 of my favorite, because there's 52 Mondays in a year. And so there's 52 chapters, which sounds like a whole lot, but each chapter is about 3 pages long. So it's not much. Forever. And then at the end of every chapter, there's like some reflective questions and some call to actions. And hey, how can you apply this to your life this week? Kind of just changing the way people think about going to work. Like instead of being miserable and stressed and anxious and angry about it, maybe we can be like, hey, this week I'm going to change to a growth mindset. Maybe I'm going to try to inspire somebody else or try to learn from somebody else, or, just different ways to think about it and maybe make Mondays not so miserable. That should have been my tagline, actually.
Make Mondays not so miserable. Yeah. Well, you know what? It's not too late. You could probably grab that hashtag somewhere.
You know what? Exactly. I just that.
Well, okay. And your book is called 50. It's a mindset makeover, right?
It's called Monday Mindsets. But it is a
Monday mindset. Oh, wait a minute. No, I was reading your next line, which is 52-week mindset makeover for people who hate Mondays.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yes.
That's what I wrote down. Okay. And so we call them the Sunday scaries. And that's the phrase I have coined with some friends of mine who don't enjoy their Mondays. And I think everybody has a little bit of that Sunday scary that, ooh, now, I enjoyed my freedom and now I have to go back. And I love that you've given people tools to get through that. That's amazing. Do you have a favorite? I mean, there are 52 of them. You probably couldn't recite them all by heart, but do you have a favorite?
Yeah, I actually do. And I can't recite it by heart, but I could probably tell you kind of the gist of it.
Okay.
So there's So I live in a town called Atascocita. My parents live in a town called Huffman. Those two towns are separated by basically a mile-long bridge over Lake Houston. So anyway, but when you drive on Lake Houston, you look to the right and the water is really calm, and you look to the left and the water is choppy. And for years, I would be like, "How in the world is it's the exact same water? Like it flows under the bridge. I mean, it's not like it's anything's different over there or whatever." And one time, my son was riding in the car with me, and I expressed that, like, "How in the world is this so different?" And he goes, "Dad, it's just a different perspective. The way you're looking at it, it looks different. When you come back." And I'm like, "Oh, the way we look at things, our perspective can make the exact same thing look totally different, you know?" And I was like, "Okay, my 8-year-old son just taught me a life lesson." But anyway, that was really cool. So yeah, and it's all stuff like that, like things a quote I hear from a movie. One of my favorite movies of all time is called 7 Days in Utopia. Movie very few people have ever seen. I mean, it doesn't have any big name actors or anything like that, but it's kind of, I learned a lot from that movie because it's kind of, it talks about tips and tricks for a guy who's kind of down on his luck and to get back in the game of golf and all this stuff. So I have a entry on that talks about finding your conviction, like why you do the things you do and all that stuff. So anyway, it's kind of the note.
I love it. And what a great just testament to little things can turn into big things, right? Like this was something that you were doing on Facebook. You probably weren't thinking a whole lot about it. I've actually, ironically, done a motivational email every single day for the last 8 years. Maybe 9, a long time, with women at work. And it started out just, we used to get together and work out, ironically, also. These are just the way these things work. We run in close circles, but we would work out together when we were physically together for work, but we all worked remotely. And so I started doing recorded videos during the pandemic. And then it's blossomed from there, right? But I say all of that to say, you don't have any idea how powerful something simple like that is until somebody chooses to reach back out and say, you know what, that was game changing. And I call that productive joy, but I would love to hear your definition of productive joy.
Okay.
There's no wrong answers. Everybody gets their own.
Good. Okay, good. Productive joy. When I hear that, I think about, so again, I think we have the choice to be joyful or miserable, and being, whether it's work to be productive or housework or so many different ways that we're, that we have to be productive. So I think that we're in charge of our attitude towards that. So we can be joyful about it or we can be miserable about it. But the deal is we still have to be productive. Like you go to work, and if you're not productive, you're probably not going to be there very long, but so you have no choice about being productive, right? Like we're all human, we have to be productive. So why not be joyful when we're doing it and find pleasure and happiness in doing that? And I think when we do, it doesn't seem quite like work anymore, And so it's like that old quote, like find something you love and get someone to pay you for it.
Yeah.
So same thing. I mean, can we be joyful while we're being productive? So that's what I think about it. And since you said there's no wrong answer,
there are no wrong answers. I think that's a beautiful answer. And you've done that with 20 years in a gym where you got to pick your clientele. You got to decide who was going to work with you. You created a space that made you smile. And that's special. And I don't believe that everybody has had that opportunity. And yet we all did. We just didn't choose it, right? Like we went in a different direction. And that doesn't make the directions that we all went wrong. It just means that we have a lot more influence over the things that we choose to do than we realize. And I think that you spend much of your life proving that to people, whether it's them coming to your gym and saying, I'd like to lose some weight, or I'd like to be able to be more steady on my feet, or whatever it is. You are giving people the opportunity to make that choice. That's really special, Jason. Well done.
Thank you. I hope so.
So our listeners are leaders from all over the place who want to create a little more productive joy. So that's my next question is you've defined it, but how do you help people create it?
Yeah, I think maybe finding the reason you do what you do. If the reason you go to work every day is for your kids, then let's be joyful that we are providing a better life for our kids. Just finding the reasons we do the things we do and keep that at the forefront of our mind, instead of when our mind starts to travel down that road of this stinks, why am I doing this? Turn it back to, well, this is why I'm doing it, And so I think that may change our perspective and make it a little more easier to bear.
Definitely. Okay, I love that. Well, and again, our whole goal in my whole goal in having this podcast is to give people something that they can use right away, something that they can take with them and say, all right, I have a meeting in an hour and I can try that thing. And so maybe the thing that they choose to try is to shift the way they look at Mondays. And I think that's a pretty special thing. So how might somebody find your book? What's the best way?
Okay. Yeah. The best way is just MondayMindsetsBook.com. The key is it's the mindsets. That S at the end of mindset is where most people forget. And then they're like, totally different side. But if you go to MondayMindsetsBook.com, it has the options of basically buying it from me and I ship it to you, or buying it from Amazon. But they're both just a click on the website that makes it simple and easy. So yeah, that'd definitely be. I mean, you can go to Amazon and search Monday Mindsets book, and it will come up also. But either way.
Well, and I also discovered that if you just type your name in, it will come up as well. So people can just type in Jason Greenhaw, and that would be an option.
Doesn't expert bowler, does it?
It did not mention your bowling prowess, no. But I think you could probably fix that with a couple well-placed articles.
We're okay.
I need to know what color your bowling shoes are. That's important. And the ball, what color's your ball?
Well, multicolored. It's kind of like, this doesn't sound any manlier. It's got like.
It doesn't. That's okay,
No. We're going to go with black bowling shoes, even though they're kind of red like clown shoes. But
oh my goodness, so many good things. So have you found friends to bowl with? That's important. Like, do you have a league?
I don't. And actually, I don't currently bowl a whole lot anymore.
Oh, that makes me sad.
Yeah. And for me, it's funny. I actually just go and I like to be by myself and just be there by myself. Yeah. So I usually, I mean, my son, if he's in town, he'll go if I force him, but that's about it.
Well, we won't mention how good he was at bowling because I know that he didn't think it was cool, but he did pretty well with it too.
He did very good, and he'll probably see this, and so we better not.
We won't. Grayson, I'm sorry. We won't talk about that. Okay. Well, I have truly enjoyed learning from you, and I am so excited to get my hands on this book because I really believe that our mindset does shift everything, and it puts us in a space where we can decide, oh, I'm going to see the good or I'm going to see the bad. Both are there. I'm just going to choose to look at the good. And that's been my mindset for many, many years. I started it when I was about 19 and my parents decided to get divorced and I had never seen him fight. And so it kind of wrecked my world. And at that point, I had to decide if I was going to let that pull me down or if I was going to look for the good. And I'm really grateful that 30 years ago, I made the choice to look for the good. And I still, by default, now look that way. So I know you can change your mind, and I know your mind's a powerful thing. So thank you for that reminder. Do you have a total excitement? I have some rapid fire questions I'd like to ask you, and I know you're excited to do that. Yes?
Bring it on. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. Question number 1. What is your definition of fun?
Fun is, so rapid fire, I got to answer quick. Okay. Fun is doing something that makes you forget where you are or your struggles, or not to look at your phone. You know what? Doing something that makes you forget to check your phone. There you go.
I love that so much because, yeah, then somebody's bored the minute they pick up their phone. 100%. And that's just habit too, but still.
Yeah.
How do you know that you are showing up as your authentic self?
Authentic self. Maybe not having to overthink everything so much. If it's your authentic self, I think it comes maybe a little more naturally. I think you can maybe tell you're not your authentic self if you're second guessing it, or if you're in your head a lot, like, did I say did I do the right thing? So I think just be able to do something without overthinking.
Love it. How do you channel your best self on your worst days?
So I start every day listening to a motivational speech. I just search YouTube and pick one. I mean, it's not really science or anything. I just find one. And that sets the tone for my day. I sometimes find if I'm kind of having a bad day or in a bad mood, if I encourage or lift someone else up, it automatically is going to do the same for me. So, but if I'm by myself, I might call or text somebody saying, hey, you're doing an awesome job. Keep it up. And it just makes me, it kind of takes the mind off my bad day and puts it somewhere else. So
My husband and I are marriage mentors, and we work with young all couples, not just young couples, but couples who are going to get married in our chapel at our church. And we talk a lot about having something bigger than you, right? So if you're always just inwardly focused on the two of you, you're going to bicker, right? We say the Bickersons show up, but that's you guys are going to bicker because you don't have anything bigger than you that you're aiming towards. But when you do, everything kind of shifts and you stop being so focused on yourself and you recognize there's a big wide world out there that needs your help. And congrats. Okay, last question will not be an easy question, but you had so many beautiful things to say. And you've reminded us that the Sunday scaries don't have to exist and that we can focus on our Mondays. You told us to watch 7 Days of Utopia or in Utopia. That's important. Perspective shifts, all that good stuff. And by nature, people can only hold on to one major thing from a 30-minute conversation. So what's the one thing you want to leave people with today?
yeah, I think I would just want to leave with the fact that we can't control everything. And the things we can control are our mindset and our attitude. And so if you can't control the weather and the things around you, let's focus on the things we can control. And I think that just makes everything else just seem a little brighter, seem a little more joyful, you know? So definitely to me, I tell people, don't waste your time on the things you can't control. Just work on the controllables, you know, which I think starts with our mindset and our attitude. So we start there, the rest can kind of flow, and the things that hit us that are bad, they don't seem as bad usually. So
I love it. Well, thank you, Jason, for your time. I know you could have been doing anything else right now, and you chose to spend some time with our Productive Joy audience, and we're really grateful for that.
Yes, thank you. This was awesome.
Yay. All right. And listeners, as always, I'm going to challenge you. It is one thing to listen. I love that you listen. We love that you listen. But if you don't do anything differently, it was a waste of your time. So what are you going to grab onto? Are you going to grab this book because the Sunday scaries are real in your house? Are you going to go watch a movie that doesn't have any key players but has a great story and then find it in the book? Or are you just going to choose to look inwardly and find your joy from there? I don't know what you're going to pick, but I do know that there are lots of things here worth picking, and I need you to grab onto that thing and figure out a way to turn fun into action. Yeah.